The video game industry moves fast, but we move faster. This is the Turbo Button Show with Darien and Jacob.
Hello and welcome to the Turbo Button Show, episode 14. Can't believe it's already been 14 of these. This is for December 8th, 2016. I'm here with Jacob.
I just wanted to see how long I could go without talking. That's it. That's all I could do. Are you ready for some news?
Yeah, I'm ready for some news.
I sense I'm having a vision of Nintendo.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm also thinking more Nintendo. And more Nintendo.
I guess.
And a little bit more. It's
Okay.
like Darian's a Nintendo fanboy.
No, they're just the only ones producing actually any viable news right now. Sony had their thing and they announced a few games, but
We had a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe we'll go over that towards the end.
yeah. But I'm going to start out with Nintendo doing a surprise appearance.
Nintendo, gee. No, this is actually pretty cool. I'm picking on Darien.
Yeah, this was pretty big news last night. It was surprise news too. They were on Jimmy Fallon, and they were showing off Super Mario Run at first, and they were making it seem like, oh yeah, we're just going to show this app off to people and whatever and get people all excited about an app, and I'm just like, this is a little bit fishy.
And then there was their big surprise. Shigeru Miyamoto playing some music.
Yeah, he was playing music with their band.
The Roots.
Yes. That was pretty interesting. But the biggest piece was they had a mystery block on a table.
Gee, I wonder what was in that.
Lifted up the top, and it was the Nintendo Switch. And it was not really like it wasn't an in-depth look of like, what are the specs? What is this? What is that? It's like it was a really good marketing strategy of being like, hey, look at this cool new thing that will play your new games that are coming out next March.
It really is a good place for them to advertise it.
Oh,
because Jimmy Fallon, I personally think he's okay, but a lot of younger people tend to really like Jimmy Fallon of all the late night talk show hosts out there.
Yeah.
He really strikes a chord with two big groups: suburban moms and millennials.
I like him for his thank you notes.
Yeah,
That's my favorite part.
yeah, they're still funny.
They're really funny.
Um,
And he makes fun of football players too.
that being said, what did you think of what was shown off?
Well, he had a lot of really good energy about it. He was freaking out about it. He was well researched. I don't know if it was research or him being genuinely excited for it, because Reggie was telling what the system was able to do or capable of, and Jimmy Fallon was all like shut up, I know what it does, and all that kind of stuff, which it helps with marketing that, because it just shows, hey, this guy's excited about it. And I thought it was a really nice presentation because they did take the system out of the dock live, telling you, and Reggie also stated that all of the components are in the tablet itself. I don't know if I want to call it a tablet or not, but I'm just going to call it a tablet. The Switch has all of its components on the inside of the unit. We got a better look at how the system looks and kind of the general size now, because like that little trailer that we got last month wasn't really the best idea for how big the thing really was. But like seeing it on a stage and watching that show and watching the show and being familiar with how big that stage is kind of gives a better size on how big it really is. And the thing looks like it is a pretty nice size. It doesn't look like it's too big or too small.
No, it looks pretty average. Kind of similar in size to the Wii U's game plaid. Why do I do that?
The gamepad?
Yeah. Oh, I know why I said plaid.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So the thing with it, it's kind of interesting because you have Jimmy Fallon having Nintendo, of all people, on the show. You know, their big famous celebrity employees on doing a whole bunch of video game stuff.
Yep.
You have one of the other big threes of, American talk show hosting, Conan. He has his own basically Let's Play series he does.
I'm kind of
Where he's
on the
like,
fence with him.
I don't know anything about video games. Let's play some video games with celebrities. And then you have Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, he makes fun of games too.
Yeah, I don't get that. It seems like mainstream society is becoming more accepting of video games, and now they're not just, I'm going to go with all my nerd friends and play video games in the basement. We're going to play World of Warcraft and weigh 400 pounds.
Hey, bro, let's go play Madden.
So that's pretty cool, and I think they did a pretty good job at handling it.
Yeah, and they showed off Breath of the Wild, and from the trailer that we got, that one little preview video that we got last month, Breath of the Wild wasn't running very well on that. But Jimmy Fallon, when they took the thing out, it was running really smooth. Like, it was not running terrible. Like, there was a few instances of lag on the footage on the Switch trailer, but like seeing it live, it looks like it has a matte screen, because the light was not really reflecting off of it. When it would get into the light, it was kind of like...
When you're in such a high-tech studio like that, they can make it so it doesn't really reflect off of it quite easily.
And it had a weird texture to it, though.
We'll have to wait and see. That being said, if it has... a lot of monitors these days use anti-glare sheets on top of them. I would not be surprised if it did have something like that on it.
And when Reggie was... I watched that clip on YouTube of that like 5 or 6 times. I noticed Reggie was poking not buttons, but he was poking the screen.
So touchscreen controls?
I think it's touchscreen controls confirmed, but he didn't hand it right over to Jimmy Fallon right away. He kind of picked it up, touched a few things, handed it over, and it went really quick, though. Like, it was in the span of like 5 seconds of it switching over from being on the dock to being like in his hands and being able to play it. And we got to look around at the unit a lot more, because Jimmy Fallon was just... his hands were all over that thing, and he's like, oh, there's a kickstand on it, and like this and that. And we definitely got to see better views of the system. Like, there's a lot of ventilation on that thing. The system has ventilation on the bottom, the top.
Not surprising.
It has the port that looks like USB-C confirmed on the bottom, which it looks like it's going to get USB-C power and the video signals.
Who called that from the very beginning? Who did, Darien?
I'm not doubting you. I never doubted you.
You were a little bit hesitant. You're like, well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm like, no, that's USB-C, man.
They've been using this proprietary crap for how many years?
Since the very beginning, basically.
Yeah, they've been using proprietary power for a long time. But that was one of the best pieces of marketing that I've ever seen Nintendo do, because they didn't do this for the Wii U. The Wii U was like, hey, look at this system. Or they were like, look at this gamepad. And people are like, is that for the Wii?
The biggest thing I grab from this isn't specific details about the Switch, but it's really the fact that Nintendo's marketing has been on point for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
They've been doing a phenomenal job at marketing, which is such a drastic change from 2012 Nintendo.
Yeah, it started out with like their Nintendo stuff was like, oh, look at all these little kiddies playing with this stuff, to where they were doing their Twitter was managed by a meme lord or something, because it was like, look at that boy, and they had a picture of what's his name? Slippy.
But it's not even that. Like, they can market towards different groups and whatnot. It's the fact that they've done a much better job at getting their message across in a short span of time.
Yeah,
and getting people excited.
And they also, their marketing too, I saw their newest holiday 3DS commercial. And it's legitimately not like kids having fun. It's like adults ripping on a kid for like not playing certain games. It's like that's kind of mean, but I like that commercial.
Nintendo's been doing a good job. I'm quite happy with them. And you know what? This time around, people don't think that it's just an upgrade to their current console.
Yeah, it's a thing that's like, oh, you take this out and you take the little like side controllers off and
I mean,
the Joy-Cons and
there's no way the Switch is going to be perfect.
no,
It's going to have a few flaws. It's impossible to not. Either it be battery life on the controller, maybe battery life on the Joy-Con sucks, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's slow loading up games, something. There's going to be something that people are like,
I feel like the reason why Reggie kind of took it is because like it might have to switch from being in a high power mode to a low power mode. But we'll only know this in January, which January is, well, we're going to get that announcement in 4 days and 1 month.
Okay.
About, kind of.
All right, so what's next?
Well, on my quest to figure out why Pokemon Sun and Moon is so bloated, some data miners found out that each Pokemon has running and walking animations for like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. If you're not familiar, you can have your Pokemon walk with you.
Ooh.
Every Pokemon has walking animations.
Ooh.
And
really?
they have every Pokemon has a high polygon model and a low polygon model too.
Huh.
So this could either be something that's implemented in the future, or maybe if there's a Switch port / like the third version, or who knows what they'll do with Sun and Moon since the Switch is coming out.
Oh, we're definitely going to get something on the Switch. Not confirmed by anyone or anything, just me stating I would be 100% truly shocked if we didn't get a Switch Pokemon main series, either Pokemon Sun and Moon HDer or like a third one. People have been joking, Pokemon Stars.
or Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that on my quest to find out why Sun and Moon is so bloated, that's one of the reasons why. All those animations, all of them, they all have unique animations. Some of them aren't complete, but those could be easily completed. I mean, give just a patch.
It's interesting to see just, what the game has in it, and it'll be nice to see what they do in the future with it.
I mean, you do have that mode where you do get to pet your Pokemon to heal them and stuff, and feed them and become more affectionate. And I mean, it shows the environment. It doesn't like put you in like a generic environment that says, "Oh, this is like Pokemon to me." This actually like shows like what route you're on, kind of environments and stuff. So like, I feel like it was fully implemented at one time. They took it out and maybe are re-optimizing in a patch. I don't even want to say it's going to be in a patch because people have already completed the game. Why are you going to play the game with Pokemon following you after the fact? But with that said, it was just 8 million copies have been sold of Sun and Moon worldwide.
That's a pretty good number. And the game's still quite early in its release.
Yep. X and Y have sold 15 point something million.
Over the past 4 years or so.
Yeah, just about.
2013, I think it was, so 3 years. That being said, in a couple of weeks, doing almost half that is still pretty good.
Yeah.
And I expect them to do well. I don't see them hitting massive numbers, like continuing that success.
No.
Because I think they'll do really well over this Christmas season. But as soon as January and February hits, I think we're going to see sales of Sun and Moon plummet because people are going to be saving up for their Nintendo Switches and thinking, oh, maybe we'll get a Switch version. So
yeah, I think that these sales came from both just Pokemon fans that just buy every game because they do, people who are the Pokemon goers,
mm-hmm.
and people who are just curious to get back into the series. But I feel like the Pokemon Go effect stretched into this game a lot in them celebrating the 20th anniversary this year. So that might be the reason why we're seeing 8 million copies sold in 2 weeks.
That's a lot of copies. What's next?
Let's talk about some of the PlayStation stuff.
Okay.
Was announced like last Friday.
Let's just go over the list of stuff. We might forget a thing or two. This is kind of impromptu here.
Yeah.
The biggest headlining, oh my gosh, one was The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it.
I'm not. I thought The Last of Us was decent. I don't think it was the critical, super amazing game that everyone else says it is.
See, the story in the game wasn't really that great. It was the character development that I liked.
I liked the characters, but I thought the gameplay actually, like, the more I think about it, the less I like the gameplay. I did not like the overall story. I thought the characters were good, and I thought the environments were really nice.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the greatest game ever. So I'm kind of hesitant with The Last of Us 2.
I'm excited. I want to see if they improve things gameplay-wise because it was a stretch. I'm not going to lie. Feels a little bit longer than it really should have been.
And it's basically Uncharted gameplay, and it doesn't really fit.
It's like Uncharted, but
slowed down.
Yeah. But I don't really like Uncharted, to be honest.
Oh, them's fighting words, man.
Yeah, you saying The Last of Us sucks is like fighting words with me, man.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, they have the trilogy being remade.
Crash Bandicoot Insanity. And Christian and I had a nice conversation about this over coffee the day after, and we were talking about it, and he seems really excited for it, so I'm going to take his word that it's going to be good.
I'm just going to say,
I'm kind of disappointed, not necessarily at the game trilogy, the remake, the remaster, whatever you want to call it, just the fact that it doesn't look like they're really adding much to it. It's basically just,
Look at
the
these
old
graphics.
games, but look at these graphics.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's fine.
We got to see a little bit more of Gran Turismo Sport, and oh, that game is gorgeous.
Oh, a racing game.
Shut up, Jacob. It's showing off a lot of the features for PlayStation 4 Pro that they're boasting about, but most games don't support. Like this game is using basically all of that system's power to do lighting, reflections, and environments, and like Polyphony Digital is always going to push the hardware to its limits. I mean, they made the PS2 do 1080i for God's sake.
My favorite thing, though, not because I'm going to play it, but I just love the fact that Sony's showing it some love. Parappa da Rappa.
Yeah, I don't really think those games are. I don't like them. They're just kind of dumb to me.
Here's the thing, though. Parappa da Rapper really does have a lot of fans.
Yeah.
And it's good to see them getting something new after a long time.
But it's a remake.
Yeah, and I'm kind of getting sick of remakes, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to see really like remakes that are like pure remakes. I mean, if it's like something in the vein of like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I'm bringing that one up a couple times during this episode because like Nintendo did a good job remaking it also by adding features to it and not making it so it's like, oh, all these game mechanics are the same. They update all the game mechanics. So if there's a way to update Parappa da Rapper to make it like a more modern rhythm game, that'll help.
And we saw something involving Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, I didn't really catch that bit.
I'm no fighting game expert. If you are, let me know how cool it is.
It looks good.
Anything else?
There was also some of people, they were showing off The Last Guardian, and I believe that's been out or it's coming out very soon.
I believe it within a day or two of right now as we're recording it. So I don't really remember the exact date, but it's basically out, which is weird to say considering,
It uses really interesting AI. They were basically programming that for so many years and getting it to work, and it just wouldn't work on PS3, so they put it on PS4, and people have been waiting a million years for it, and I guess it's pretty good. And
10 years in the making.
Yeah, so I might get it. Who knows? But
to quote John St. John as Duke Nukem, Duke, was the game good? Yeah, but after 10 years, it better be. Anything else, or are we going to sign off on that?
I think we're going to sign off on that.
All right, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, let me know in the comments if my Duke Nukem voice was absolutely terrible.
Click the bell on our channel page if you haven't so you get all of our notifications.
Look at that. And let us know what you think about these news stories. Let us know if we missed anything for this week. Join us in the Gaming Buzz community.
Yep.
And
we'll having discussions.
Yep. And bye.
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you guys later.
Next week.
New episodes and other content can be found on turbobuttonshow.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.